And tonight is the last broadcast of Inside the NBA on TNT. And we thought it was going to be the end. TNT lost the TV contract.
Mm-hmm.
I told Chris, Rob G, am I lying? I told Chris this from a long time ago, that they were going to lose the NBA. And I remember their CEO said TNT could survive without the NBA on the record. When he said that, I was like, there's no way they're coming back. Because that was like, to put that out there.
Like I dare you kind of a thing?
It was kind
playing
of
chicken?
Yeah, it was like, TNT can survive without the NBA. That was what the quote was. And I read that. I was like, no way the NBA is going to look at that and be like, oh, yeah, we'll come back to you. It's just not. Because there's other suitors and whatnot and people looking for content. And the only thing that people watch today, live sporting events and national news. Nothing else. You know this. Nothing else. Watch TV shows when they want. They don't watch the local news like they used to watch it. I could go on and on and on. The numbers just bear it out. But anyway, so next season, the NBA is moving. Inside the NBA is moving to ESPN.
Uh-huh.
Supposedly the same people who ran it or whatever are going to do it, and they're just kind of like selling the property right of it. But all the same cast members, they're all going to be back and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be air on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people rejoiced and were happy. It was a mistake. Inside the NBA coming back on ESPN next year is a mistake, a colossal mistake. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to feel the same. It ain't going to be the same. TNT was a unique situation. They didn't have all that other sports properties and Charles ripping on this and that, and there were no other shows or personalities that they had to worry about. Ask Pat McAfee, who was on YouTube doing his thing. All right, come over to ESPN. He's on the air calling out bosses by name. He's a rat. This and that. Oh, no, Pat McAfee's his own entity. He does. Really? Nobody's their own entity when they're on the network. Nobody. I don't care. Somebody upstairs is going to be like, I don't want to hear that. Oh, what is that? Stop that. Yes. They'll tell you have your autonomy, right? It don't work like that. Inside the NBA going to ESPN is like American Idol leaving Fox and going to ABC. Have you watched since? It don't feel the same. Tell me it wasn't hot and happening when it was on Fox. Right. And they just figure like, we'll just move it to another network and then people will just, no. I don't believe it's going to feel the same, be the same, and it's unfortunate because it's a great show. They could have gone out with a blaze of glory as the all-time great studio show ever. What a great run. Almost 30 years, right? For real.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to have a closing curtain. You don't have to work all the way through and just keep doing all these things and moving on and to just hang on. Sometimes it's great to go out on top. It is. John Elway, Super Bowl, couldn't win. He won one Super Bowl, won two Super Bowl. Thank you.
I'm out.
Everybody wanted him to come back. Thank you. I had a great career. I won 2 Super Bowls. You know how people remember them? As a champ and a winner. And it would have been great tonight for them to put a bow on it and say, we were on TNT, we did something very special here, and it ain't going to just transfer over somewhere else. I think they made a mistake.
Well, so much of what you said I can't even disagree with, and I can't argue. The only thing I'll say, the caveat that I have on why I actually still will reserve hope that the show will still be good, that we'll still get 90%, 85-90% of the product. A couple of reasons. One, they're still going to be having the TNT crew, and I don't mean the 4 guys we see every Thursday or every night in the playoffs. That is already a good thing. You still got Kenny, Shaq, and Ernie. Having the other people was vital for me. When I first heard, they're going to get the guys, I was like, because what makes that show special isn't just the 4 guys. It is what you were saying. It is the fact that producers, they always shout out TK. TK, who runs it, he allows for everybody to do stuff. He allows for this person to do that. Hey, you draw this on Chuck's head. You do that. And you don't typically get this. You've been in TV rooms. You get people who get absolutely stuck in their ego. I has to be my way. Don't do this. And if you watch the documentary on this show, you understand how they allow everybody. Yeah, they empower everybody. Hey, do what you want. Do what you're best at. Give it a shot. If it was whack, we won't do it tomorrow. But go for it. They empower the illustrator to draw stuff. They empower the kid who says, I got a good idea if we play this song. Having that crew gives me hope that they're going to just be able to just switch the network and keep it rolling. Because of that crew, not just the 4 guys.
Yeah, but it's not just, but my issue isn't with that. It's about the management. Like, you could act like they're not going to have ESPN is just going to let them put the show on. But here's where
here's where I get your sentiment, and I put a period next to it. But again, a couple of things have happened over the years. You mentioned the name, and I will say I think he's changed things a bit. I think Pat McAfee coming on, cursing, and I remember that being at first when he first started, cursing on the show. You could tell ESPN didn't know what to do. Like, okay, wait, is that allowed? Are we allowed? And then they kind of just let it roll, and they make sure to put the disclaimer, hey, this show may have foul language, blah, 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 blah. And I think he's created, along with Club Shay Shay and all the stuff that he's saying and doing on all them shows and nightcaps, while still getting to come on ESPN, Disney's Airwaves, Mondays and Tuesdays.
No, but he's not saying that on Disney.
Right, but what I'm saying is
But he's not saying that.
Hear me out, though.
Okay, he's not saying that.
No, I hear you. But all I'm saying is it's created an atmosphere where more things go than they typically used to. You never used to be able to have, hey, by the way, on the other rest of the week, I'm going to go do this show and I'm going to say some wild, crazy stuff. You know that. You were never allowed to do that. The show that got millions of views. It's not like a random one-off podcast only 100 people listen to. So I do think the climate of things have changed where people are more accepting. And they don't really do or say the wildest things. Chuck gonna say something. Chuck gonna disrespect the women in San Antonio. But he's been doing that for 20-something years, so I think we're all used to that. He might let an S word slip out every now and again. But again, based off what Pat McAfee's over there and allowed to do, I just think the game has changed a little bit. I would totally be with you 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
Here's where I disagree. And Charles has said, the idiots over there on ESPN on those shows. No,
he has called them out.
Those are the things that ESPN.
But don't I know that when I make that signing?
No.
Don't I know what I'm getting?
But it's different now once you're on the air, and now I have a guy bashing my other shows, okay? Like, seriously. Like, that sounds cool. Charles was doing it. He always TNT was separate. They didn't have any other shows. They don't have anybody else to answer to. It was 20-year-old movies or inside the NBA and basketball. That's all they had, TNT. He wasn't on there saying, don't watch the morning show on TNT because those guys are idiots. I'm serious. I can't believe that ESPN will sit there and be cool with that for them to attack their show.
I disagree. I just think it's a different climate. I think they're going to be okay with that. I think they're okay with getting roasted. I think they're okay with – watch. He said, let me tell you something. Get up. I go back to sleep when Get Up comes up. It's terrible. And then they come on that Monday or that Tuesday or the next day and they roast him. I think they're going to be like, let the show beast begin. Let it happen. Let Stephen A. and Kenny Smith go at it and Chuck go at it in a friendlier way. I think they're going to welcome it. I think they're going to absolutely embrace that. That him calling shows out, shows calling him back out. I think they're going to.
I don't think that's what you want.
But I'm not saying that's what they want, but I think they're going to embrace it.
I worked there for 8 years, and I do not think that
it's different.
Bashing shows, bashing other shows. No, they don't, because they don't do it on the air. They don't. The ESPN doesn't do it.
I'm not Rob.
They don't do it.
The only thing I'm saying is, if I signed an artist, a rock star who always gets in trouble with police, drunk DUIs, having drugs, then I sign him to the label, I know what he comes with.
No, but he was there. He was over there before. And they do have their own standards. Pat McAfee's not the same exact show it used to be. Every once in a while, slip up, but it was way more cursing. Okay,
Right. So what I'm saying,
so did he change? Did Pat McAfee change?
They changed.
No, did Pat McAfee change?
But I'm saying he would never have worked on ESPN 5 to 10 years ago. I really mean that. I get what you're saying. He tempered it down.
Okay,
that's
what I'm saying. You're asking Chuck. You're going to ask him to temper it down. Can you take it down a little bit? First Take is our marquee show in the morning. We just don't want that. But can you avoid that? Can you avoid telling people not to watch it?
I just think
or calling people idiots?
I think you know what you're getting with Chuck, and you absolutely signed up for it. And I think you embrace it. This is what we get with Chuck, Shaq, Kenny,
I just
and Ernie
don't think it's going to be the same show.
Now that is to remain to be seen. I don't. You know what I mean? We'll have to wait and see with that. But me still holding reserve and hope is because of that crew, not just the 4 guys. If they said these 4 talents are going with the ESPN crew, I would throw the towel in.
Why?
Because ESPN has not been able to have a good basketball show.
Yeah, but it's about the talent out there. Those 4 guys, if they still have their
it's the stuff they do. You like right now, you and I. You say so.
But you're acting like there are no talented people at ESPN.
No, I'm not saying that. But not on the. They don't have the same green light that TNT allows. Just like on this show, we have people fill in for Alex. But Alex gets the show. He knows the show. He does this. He's fast.
You see how he didn't say when you were gone for 6 weeks?
Wait, how am I get 2 people? Can I say 2 people at once?
I'm just trying to say.
Can I get to Rob G?
I would have said both.
Rob G not being here, you feel it. And what I'm saying is if it was just the talent, the stars of the show, I would really be like, no, go ahead. I'll be right there with you.
He was like, we're producing the show every day. Does Rob G really need to come back?
I mean, it's true.
Rob G know I was stalking him on his days off.
Numbers
Rob G, who didn't call you or text you?
Rob, I called him live on the air. Remember that?
Because I was
Parker.
I was trying to give him respect. He was trying to nurture.
You said you don't need him no more. That's what you was like, man. Rob G, Rob P, Rob Schmee. We don't need him.
That's true.
I said Rob G is busy. He's probably breastfeeding right now.
You want me to tell you what Scott told me? You said Scott said you hit him and was like, yo, we don't even need producers. No, just pay me what you pay producers.
He did. He reached out to Scott and said, I don't know.
That's what he told me. He was like, hey man, I don't know. Rob just said he was like, yo, give me the producers' salaries.
877-99 on Fox. Rob G, don't buy that. 877-99 on Fox is the phone number, and it's real simple. We do want to hear from you. Should they have let Inside the NBA die on TNT? Run its course, that's it. Or do you think the show will be just as good as on ESPN? Mr. Willie in Miami, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mr. Willie?
Hey, what's going on, guys? First time caller, man. I'm over the road truck driver too. I love you guys.
Thank you.
We don't believe it till we hear the truck. Pull the toot toot.
We love it.
Yeah. I agree with you, Rob. I think they should have just went off on the sunset. I'm not a big ESP fan, and I don't think it's gonna be as good as it used to be on TNT. You're right. TNT, they had just that one show. They didn't have all. So I don't think it's gonna be as good as, even though they're gonna have the same guys. I just don't think ESPN is right for it.
All right.
I love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Y'all keep up the good work.
Yes,
hey,
be
Mr.
safe,
Willie, man.
Mr.
Thanks
Willie.
for the call, Mr. Willie. We appreciate it, man.
Mason in the Bay Area. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports
area.
Radio.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What up, Mason?
Loving the topic, and honestly, leading up to this topic, I was actually kind of sad, dang, I don't really want this to be like the last show on TNT, obviously, but then Rob started talking as he usually does, and then I started thinking you know what? Not that the show's run its course, but it's kind of run its course, and they've had a great run, and you should go out on top in a blaze of glory. I think that's very valid, but also kind of to push back on the same point, Rob, I don't really think, if you're watching the show just to hear him rip ESPN, that's such a specific thing, and I hear what you're saying, but it's if you're watching it for that specific reason, then I don't really see the draw to it or why it should be that big of a deal in the first
I'm just
place,
saying that the bosses, it's cute, it's on TNT, they don't have any shows, any other personalities, so it's okay. He could say, oh, yeah, those idiots in the morning on ESPN, and everybody's like, okay.
But I think people are going to love that, Rob. I think people are going to be like, that's fun.
People
Chuck
think
me
it
and
is,
Chunny.
but I'm not so sure about The
I'm
people
telling you, man,
upstairs.
they're going to have some good beef.
They're
The next
always-
morning,
they're
on Get
always-
Up, they're going to go at Chuck, and it's going to be fun. I'm
They're
telling
always
you.
inside.
That's,
Thank
if I was
you.
a producer, that's what I'd do. If I was the Rob G of the Get Up show, I would be doing that.
Well, you keep
we going
talking,
right back
you
at
might
Chuck.
be. Mason, you're on the Odd Couple Fox
You
Sports
going to try to
Radio.
take my salary, too?
Ken in California, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Ken?
I don't know when Calvin's going to get it right, but he's wrong again. It's going to die like Rob said. The show's going to die. The kids let their hair down. They're going to have to wear ties, dot their I's, cross their T's. They're going to be boring. So they should have rolled out in the sunset because I ain't watching it because I never miss it.
There you
Well,
go.
the best part about that, Ken act like
you,
they don't
Ken.
all wear ties up there, Martin. Like they don't be wearing ties every day. Ken, you know good and well you can't shut Chuck up. You know Chuck ain't going to shut up.